Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a video just telling you guys my experience at David's Bridal and Confetti and Lace. So for those of you who don't know, Confetti and Lace is where they film Say Yes to the Dress UK. So I really wanted to visit Confetti and Lace just to see how it is, because whenever I always watch Say Yes to the Dress, and I've always just wanted to see like what it's like in person, because I love the show, and it always just, the experience always looks so amazing. So I wanted to share my experience and compare the two experiences that I had, because they're the only, actually that's a lie, they're not the only two bridal shops that I've been to, as in like English bridal dress shops. I have been to one other, but it was like a really small independent boutique, so I'm not going to bring that one into it because that's just a complete different type of shop altogether. David's Bridal is the one that I visited, was the one at Westfield in Stratford, and it's a beautiful shop. They're both really nice shops, and they both hold designer dresses as well as their own brand, I believe, but I'm not too sure about Confetti and Lace. They might stock just all designers. Confetti and Lace is based in Lakeside Shopping Centre, and that's in Essex. So I visited both a few months back now, and this is when I was out looking for an English dress, because I am incorporating an English dress into one of my events during my wedding week. So I have now chosen my dress, and I will reveal which shop it is out of the two. So if you want to get your guesses in and guess throughout the video which shop I eventually went to, then comment down below, or which shop I eventually chose to go with, because I actually visited both first, then I came home, thought about the dresses that I tried on, and then I went back to the one that I really loved. And I think this with everything, but I do think that service is a major part, has a major part to play in where you decide to get your wedding dress from, whether it's your main dress, whether it's just one of the outfits that you're going to wear to your wedding. You want to make sure that you 100% trust the person that you're buying it from, and service plays a major role in that decision, in my personal opinion. So I visited David's Bridal first, and to this appointment I took all of my bridesmaids with me. And this shop honestly is so beautiful. So we walked in, and it's like on the outside area of Westfield. I don't know if any of you have been to Stratford Westfield, but it's in the outside area. So I think bridal appointments are by appointment only, because I went on the weekends because that's the only time I can do. Be sure to go onto both websites and book appointments if you are looking for your wedding dress as well. So yeah, I booked my appointment a few months before actually, and then they send you a little reminder just before the appointment, I think like the day before they call you, and they just confirm. And then you turn up, and then there's the shop window is just amazing. I just love the whole layout of the shop. I just love the window display as well, like the dresses they had in the window were beautiful. So when you walk in, downstairs is the bridesmaids and occasion wear section, or floor shall I say, and it's all like different types of bridesmaids dresses, all different colours, styles, etc. And also occasion wear, so if you're looking for a dress for a Christmas party, a ball, I don't know, prom, whatever, you can find any kind of dress there, and they have a massive variety. And so they have the reception desk downstairs. You go to the desk, say that you've got an appointment, and they take you upstairs. So upstairs is where the bridal section is, so the whole floor is bridal upstairs. The staircase is beautiful when you're going up. Just, I loved the whole shop. It's so nice. It's such a nice experience. Probably tell I had an amazing time there already by the way I'm going on about it. So yeah, we went upstairs, and then the person who was going to be looking after me that day came to see me, and they make you fill out like a sheet, and they ask you when your wedding day is, what kind of dresses you're looking for, I think they asked, and just like some details about you. And then you get to meet the person that's going to be looking after you, and then that person then takes you to the back. So there's the whole floor, and that's where all the dresses are, and then the back is where all the changing rooms are and where the sections are with the big mirrors, and you get to stand on the little podium thing, not podium, I don't know what it's called, the little stand thing when you have your dress on, and then your party, whoever you take with you, sits in that area as well, and then they all get to look at you. But it's quite open plan, so other brides that are there at the same time as well, you do get to see them trying their dresses on with their parties. So they take you to the back, they sit you and your party down where you're going to be trying on the dresses. And something that I really loved, and if you've seen my wedding dress shopping video, which I posted maybe like a month ago now, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave the link to it down below. That's actually when I went to try on dresses at David's Bridal, so you'll see some of the bits that I'm talking about and some of the dresses in that video. I didn't put the dress that I actually went for in that video, obviously, but I did put some of the ones that I tried. So what I loved, they put like a little thing on your changing room door, so obviously each bride has her own changing room, and then on your changing room door it says the date of your wedding and your name, so I really loved that. So yeah, they put that on the door, they sit down, they go through the worksheet with the form that you've just filled out with you, and then once they do that they ask you a few questions like what your wedding day, where it's going to be, what's the theme. So kind of similar to what you see on Say Yes to the Dress, but remember this is not the Say Yes to the Dress location, that's Confetti and Lace, which I'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, they do talk about your budget as well, so the usual questions you normally see when you watch Say Yes to Dress, if you do. So that kind of thing I was expecting. I didn't really know what to say about my theme for the wedding, because obviously this is not my main wedding dress, like I'm not wearing it on my wedding day, because on my wedding day I'm wearing traditional Indian wedding lehenga. So I kind of just told her it's an Indian wedding, but I'm looking for a gown for this event, so she knew what kind of thing to look for me. So then after you explain that to her sales assistant, they will then take you and your party out onto the shop floor, the bridal shop floor, and they tell you to pick out, I think it's 3 or 4 dresses, and then from what you've told them, like from what you like, so they do ask you to show some pictures if you have any pictures, they ask you to describe any sorts of dresses you like, anything you don't like, so they ask you all of that beforehand while they're going through the form with you. So then at this point I sort of walked around, and so the dresses that you like, you don't just pick them up because they are quite heavy, so you kind of pull them out and have them facing forward, so then the sales assistant can then go and get the dresses that you've sort of pulled out. So yeah, I pulled out a few, and then went to the changing rooms, tried on quite a few different styles actually, because I wasn't too sure what would actually suit me. And yeah, I tried them on. The sales assistant was actually really helpful, and like she was really lovely, she's really friendly. So yeah, so they go in the changing room with you and help you get into these dresses. And then once you're in the dress, they find you some shoes to wear as well, so they find you some heels, they ask for your shoe size, and then you come out of the changing room, similar to Say Yes to Dress, in front of your party, and then you stand there in front of the mirrors, and then you see it for the first time, because they don't have mirrors in the changing room at David's Bridal. So you see it for the first time in the mirror, and you see your party see it for the first time when you walk out of the changing room. So I thought this was really good. Like, I thought it was good not having a mirror in the changing room, because when you walk out of the changing room, before you even see yourself, your party see you. So for me, my bridesmaids all saw me before I'd actually seen myself in the dress, so I could kind of tell by their facial expressions whether it was a good one or whether it was a bad one. So then that was pretty much it there. So I did really like a dress that day, but because I wanted to look at a few different shops before I actually chose my final dress, I went off and I took the dress code of the dress that I liked, and also I wanted my mum to see me in the dress before I actually chose the final dress. So yeah, I went off and took all the information that I needed. They kept my details on file, and that was pretty much my experience there. It was really amazing. Everyone was so lovely. Now moving on to Confetti and Lace, just because, so that's my experience at David's Bridal. It was amazing. can't really say anything bad about it. Confetti and Lace, I was really excited to go here just because of obviously Say Yes to the Dress, and sort of just wanted to see what the whole experience was about. So I didn't go on Say Yes to the Dress, just to get that clear. I wasn't being filmed or anything. I just went to the place where they do it. So I think they film during the weekdays and you have to be like, you have to apply to be on the show. Whereas I just, same as with David's Bridal, I just called them or went on their website and booked an appointment. And I think they give you an hour or hour and a half slot as well, so it's pretty much similar to David's Bridal with that kind of thing. So this is actually inside the shopping centre, Confetti and Laces. It's inside rather than outside, and this is at Lakeside, as I mentioned before. So when I saw this shop, I wasn't as impressed as I was with David's Bridal. Like with David's Bridal, I was so excited. Like, you know when you see Kleinfeld on Say Yes to the Dress US, and it just looks beautiful inside and outside, that's what David's Bridal looked like. Whereas Confetti and Lace, because it's the Say Yes to the Dress UK version, I thought it would be like on par with the Kleinfeld store, but it really wasn't. Like, so basically I don't know if this is just for privacy because they film in there, but their windows are blocked off, so they have mannequins in the windows with bridal dresses on, but you can't see through into the shop. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it is for filming purposes, but it just makes the shop look really ugly. Then you walk in, the shop is a lot smaller than David's Bridal, so the shop floor, they don't hold any sorts of like bridesmaid dresses, occasion wear dresses like David's Bridal did. They purely just hold wedding dresses. Now the layout there, so as you walk in, like inside, in the middle, sorry, there's like a sofa area, and I'm guessing that's their waiting area, and then towards the back of the middle of the shop they have the reception desk where you go, give them your name and say that you've got a bridal appointment, and then your sales assistant comes to meet you. Yeah, so once she came to meet me, what we did to begin with, she took us to the back where they have the change rooms. Now here they have your own separate change rooms like David's Bridal, but they don't have one communal area in the middle where you have like rows and each bride goes in each section. Here they have your own, so you have your own change room, then directly opposite your change room is the little area where your bridal party sit. It has mirrors there and that little podium stand thing which you stand on, and it's your own section, so it's got walls around it, so other brides have their own section, so you can't see other brides trying their dresses on, etc. So yeah, that was completely different. For me, I actually preferred the David's Bridal layout, just because I thought it was nice to like see other brides trying their dresses on, as I mentioned. I just preferred their whole layout of the store, to be honest. But on the show, because I thought it was a bit weird, because on the show it looks like there's a massive room where you get to try your dress on, and your bridal party you get to see it, and then, you know, it's a huge room. So what I realised is when they film Say Yes to the Dress, they don't film it in these little sections. They film like you standing in front of the mirror in the main shop floor. So on them days they must have the shop closed off to purely just people going on Say Yes to the Dress and filming for Say Yes to the Dress. I didn't find the variety as big as David's Bridal, so they did have really good designers there, like Polina Tournay. I love her dresses, and if you watch Say Yes to the Dress you'll know that her dresses are beautiful and really popular on Say Yes to the Dress, and like all the other designers they normally have on Say Yes to the Dress, they hold the exact same designers at this store. So she took us to the bit where my bridal party sit, and she just took me through the form, took my wedding date, where it was, pretty much the exact same questions as what they asked me at David's Bridal, what I was looking for, what I like, what I don't like. And then she asked me my budget as well. But one of the things I didn't like at Confetti and Lace is that when I told her my budget's not low, but when I told her my budget, she made me feel like it wasn't high enough, which I really was not impressed with. And the girl that I had, she actually doesn't normally work weekends, but that weekend she happened to be there. She actually only films for Say Yes to Dress, so she works there when they're filming, so she's always on telly. So if you watch Say Yes to Dress UK, then you'll recognise her. She's like brunette, I can't remember her name, sorry, but yeah, she's always on telly. So I had her, so she was very much like how they are on Say Yes to the Dress, and she was very much obsessed with the budget, and I was like, look, this is my rough budget, but if I like something that goes over it or something that's under it, like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather have something that I really like. But she couldn't get her head around that. The thing is, in David's Bridal, what I liked is they let you pick out dresses whatever the cost, whereas in Confetti and Lace I felt like she wasn't even allowing me to look at dresses in the high price range. Like, I just felt like, no, you can't, you know, these dresses are out of your price range, maybe you should look in this section, which I really didn't like. So I wasn't really getting on with this sales assistant as much as I was in David's Bridal, just purely because of that to begin with. She really annoyed me. So then afterwards, after she took all my information, same as David's Bridal, she took us all onto the shop floor and she just told us to pick out the dresses that we liked, or I liked. I say we because I went with my sister, my cousin and my mum. And yeah, so we went back to the changing room, and in this changing room they did have a mirror in it, so I could see the dress before I went out. Again, like I said, I actually preferred not to see the dress because of you get your first reaction in front of your bridal party, and you get to see their reaction when you're walking out as well. So yeah, but their changing room had mirrors. And then she got me into all the dresses, and they're really strict on taking pictures in there. Like, you can't take any pictures, but we still managed to sneak a few in. But I mean, they weren't blow me away. Like with David's Bridal, I forgot to mention this, as soon as I walked into the shop there was one dress on the mannequin downstairs which they keep in the middle of the shop floor, and it was a bridal dress, and I fell in love with that dress before I even tried it on. And I tried that dress on and I absolutely loved it. Like, I mean, I loved a couple there, but that one was beautiful. Like, as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it, and then when I put it on, I just loved it even more. The prices at Confetti and Lace and David's Bridal are fairly similar. Tried on the dresses, and yeah, I mean, the experience wasn't as amazing as it was at David's Bridal. Like, I just wasn't blown away by anything. I wasn't blown away by their collection of dresses. I wasn't blown away by their service. One thing I would say, if you are going to Confetti and Lace, or you do see a dress in Confetti and Lace that you like, is if you know that another independent store or a different store stock that same designer, I would check that they sell it before you buy it from Confetti and Lace, because you might save yourself hundreds of pounds. So that's a really top tip for you guys if you do like a dress that you found in Confetti and Lace. So yeah, overall I wasn't impressed. That will reveal that I actually ended up buying my dress from David's Bridal. So I went back there, took my mum this time, the second time, and even my second experience was absolutely amazing. I went there, tried on that dress that I saw on the mannequin. That's the dress that I ended up going for. I knew I absolutely would love it, and I ended up going for that dress. It was the one. Everyone loved it. My bridesmaids loved it. When I took my mum the second time, my mum loved it, and it's just beautiful. So they took my measurements again just to recheck. I got into the dress again, tried it on, and they put the order through for me. Everything was amazing. That day was really busy though compared to the last time that I went, but even though it was so busy, their service was still spot on, which I absolutely thought was amazing. And then one thing I loved about David's Bridal is that when you choose your dress, so their tradition, and it has been, I think for years and years since they opened, when you find your dress, so kind of similar to Say Yes to Dress, when they say, do you say yes to this dress? And then you're like, yes, and then they, you know, all start cheering. In David's Bridal, what they make you do is they give you a bell, and when you've decided on your dress, you close your eyes, make a wish. Like they say, picture your fiance and you on your wedding day, and blah blah blah, and make a wish. So then I closed my eyes, made a wish, and then you ring the bell and it's like really loud, and everyone in the shop floor, like everyone in the shop just starts cheering and clapping, and you just feel amazing. Like, it's such an amazing feeling. And that's like with Confetti and Lace, I can't imagine that ever happening, because firstly, when you're trying on your dresses, you're in your own little compartment, whereas with David's Bridal there's like loads of other brides there, and when you ring your bell everyone's like yeah, and then like really excited, and it's just such a fun experience. And I highly recommend anyone to go there. They do really try and cater for your price budget as well, so even if you're slightly worried, oh, you know, it might be a bit too expensive for me going to David's Bridal, I highly recommend it, even just for the experience. They're not pushy at all. That's another thing that I liked. Like, I felt like in Confetti and Lace, if they felt like you weren't going to buy anything that day, they didn't put their all into the appointment. Whereas with David's Bridal, they put their all into it every single time, whether they think you're going to buy a dress or whether you're not. So I would just recommend, if you're a bride-to-be and you're getting married soon, you haven't started looking for your dress yet, definitely go to David's Bridal for the experience. On the other hand, I wouldn't recommend going to Confetti and Lace, because the experience was not, I was not impressed with it. It's nothing like what they show on TV. Obviously that is probably highly scripted, and the layout is completely different on the show, and yeah, it's just not what I imagined at all. But I'm glad I went there, because at least now I can say, oh, you know, I've been there, I know what they're like, I'm not missing out on anything. So yeah, I am really happy that I went to both stores, and really happy with my dress that I went for. So I'm excited for you guys to see that, but obviously you're not going to see that until after the wedding. But I will be vlogging over my wedding, so do not worry, you will definitely be seeing that dress. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Sorry it was long and I talked for absolutely ages, as always. But yeah, I just want to share my experience with you, and hopefully it helps some of you brides-to-be as well, because, you know, it just gives you an insight to the process and what to expect, etc. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to click the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!